Welcome everyone uh to Hades 2. Um this is the reason I haven't been playing Apex that much. I've actually been playing the early access for Hades 2. So let me show you guys what this game is about first, and then I'm gonna do a quick run. Um so first of all, Hades 2 is an what they call a godlike roguelite. Yeah, it's a stupid fucking name. You control Milanoi, the princess of the underworld, who was basically saved of her fate to be frozen in time alongside her family by
Brother,
Kronos the Titan.
you don't remember him at all, and yet you miss him. Somehow you do.
The protagonist of Hades 1 is the kid on the left. That's Zacharias. So this story goes that you're born and Kronos basically like escapes, becomes a Titan again, and incarcerates everyone. But you are saved by the Witch of the Crossroads. That would be Hecate, this woman right here. Um, Anyways, you have grown up. You get basically like weapons that you can use to progress through the game. But you have to do everything in one go. So in addition to that, you have an upgrade system, which they're based on the Arcana cards, and then you can upgrade
Let me
each card
see.
individually. So there's a lot here to like dig into. So you have like weird things like deal 20% more damage to your foes in your cast, and I'll explain that in a second. Or you know you start the game with plus 40 health and plus 40 magic. So those are two different attributes that you have. Or death defiances, right? When you fall to zero, these are your lives. Automatically restore 40% hearts and magic, and limit uses per night. Currently, I don't have enough to run, so uh, let me give you an example, right? So in the beginning of the game, you have a variety of weapons. So you have um your HP and your MP at the bottom left. Um, and then you have, as you can tell, I have death defiances. So like that would be like the little symbols at the bottom of that. Hold on.
Should keep me company.
So in Hades, you have a basic attack, right? Like for the staff, it's a three-prong attack, and you have an omega attack. So you just hold the button, and it'll tell you how much magic it's gonna use. So in this case, you use 20 magic, right? So like that won't recover until I go to a different room, or I do something else, right? Then for the specials, for the staff is this little like projectile, but if you charge it, you can hold it. It's a fireball, right? And it explodes. Then your casts are like little huge magic circles that when an enemy gets caught in that, they get slowed down. You can make it an omega as well, so that now ensnares and it'll explode. So once it explodes, it does damage if there's an enemy there. So in addition to that, you have different weapons, right? So you have the staff, right, like that I demonstrated. Then you have the sister swords. So if we
What
take a look,
secrets do you keep?
these are Limon Oros, the sister blades, and I'll explain the aspects in a second. So look at this. So the basic attack, right? Omega. So what this does is that it teleports behind the enemy. So regular attack, regular special, charge special, right? So you can charge up to 27, and then the cast is still the same. You have these magnificent torches that what you can do
What form
is
suits you tonight?
you throw fireballs, right, with your regular attack, little fireballs, or you can hold the attack and throw bigger fireballs. They use 5 magic every time. Also, you can move as you're attacking, so this is the only weapon that lets you do that. And then the special, there are these fireballs. So you can basically stack, right? So you can make like a little tornado. But the special, you can hold it and then it creates 2, so you can have up to 4. So you can do some really degenerate stuff with this. Look at this thing. They last a while, especially with this particular aspect I'm running. Then you have the axe.
Bet.
So the axe, pretty self-explanatory, very slow but very like chunky. Three, three attack, and then the special is you can charge it up to 20, I believe. Yeah, and spin to win. And then the special is actually a defensive move, but if you hold it, it does that. And then the goofiest thing is the skull. That's revolt. Yeah, that's a skull. You're like a ventriloquist. So it has 3 shots, and you shoot them and they fall. They explode. All right. you can charge it, so you can aim where it goes, and it'll like home in that area and explode. And then your special is actually just a dash, but you can charge it, and then you do that. So you can do pretty dumb stuff. In addition, you have these like resorts. So whichever you grab of these, it'll prioritize the resource of this. The fishing rod will prioritize fish. This will prioritize spots where you can dig. This will prioritize souls that you can get for to return here, and this will prioritize mining. So right now, so yeah, so that's basically like most of it. And obviously you can upgrade them. So like here's like all the upgrades that you can do. Some of them I'm allowed to do, some of them I don't. Let me explain the aspects. So the aspects are basically modifiers, permanent modifiers to each of the weapons, right? So you will always start with the aspect of the main character. So like in Hades 1 is the aspect of Zagreus. In Hades 2 is the aspect of Melinoe. So in her case, for the staff, you can channel your Omega moves, so your charge moves faster, so you let them off 30% faster at max level. Then you have something like Aspect of Circe, right, which does not rely on those Omega moves, and it just says after landing 21 attack or specials, you gain Serenity, and it tells you what Serenity is. Your Omega moves are 15% faster, so about 15, so you lose, so it's like half of this, but you rapidly restore MP. So your net, so once you hit those, doesn't matter whether you get hit or not, you're just cruising, right? And you can restack this. The one I haven't tried, but I heard is really good, is the Aspect of Moments. So while you have no more than 50% HP, absorb your Omega Special to restore 5 health, and it increases the power of the special and the Omega Special. The swords, the sister blades, yeah. So you start Aspect of Melinoe, right? So your attacks and specials deal more damage by striking foes from behind, so pretty devastating. Aspect of Artemis, while you channel your Omega attack, so like the one that goes behind you, you occasionally parry. So parry prevents damage from most types of direct attacks. Can be repeated after 15 seconds, and then you riposte right after. So you are impervious for 1 second, and your next 9 strikes have a 50% crit chance, which is insane. And then I think my favorite one so far has been the Aspect of Pan. So your casting, your specials, so your knives that you throw, seek foes in your casts. So if you have like an enemy stuck in a cast, you can just throw the knife, and the knife will home in onto them. And you can fire more blades after you channel. So you get 4 more blades when you're like holding them. So you get a lot, right? So you can do some pretty stupid stuff with this if you can get enemies inside a cast. These are wild. The Aspect of Melinoe is kind of broken. So the flames of your Omega, so like when you charge it right and they spin around you, burn longer before expiring. So you can get them up to 2.5 seconds. So you can stack them. Then these, I've heard that they're really good. I haven't really tried them very much. I need to see some builds. So your attack lingers for 6 seconds, so they're little orbs. And then they explode in a blast if struck by your special. So you basically use them as like little detonation devices. Aspect of Eos. I recently unlocked this one. I haven't tried it out at all. Let's see how it looks like. Those are hearts. Huh.
Moros.
That's Moros. That's death. Your attacks grow bigger and stronger over 4 seconds and return whenever you sprint. So this is fully dedicated to attack. Huh. Interesting.
Moros.
These are very interesting aspects. Yeah. Aspect of Melinoe, right? You recover faster after using your attacks for the axe. So I mean, you're pretty slow, so that's nice. Aspect of Charon is kind of stupid. So your cast lasts plus 3 seconds more, and it rubs like your Omega cast if struck by your Omega special. What this means is that you can throw the cast, right? Any like your regular cast, out. Have your enemies there, right? And if your cast already has like an enchantment, like I don't know, like any of the gods, right? It'll do that. It'll do that explosion damage if you hit it with the like shockwave that you throw from the axe when you use the special. So it's a very safe option to play. And the Aspect of Thanatos, which I actually kind of like, look at this, right? Like, it's still an axe, but when you take the Aspect of Thanatos, it becomes a scythe. Yeah, so whenever you hit with Omega moves, so whichever one, you gain +1 critical chance until you take damage. So max crit chance is 8% right now. I have to like bump it up. And then this is probably like the wildest shit. I need to like get used to this one. So as I show this one for the skull. As for Persephone, I haven't even used it. Any damage you deal generates glory.
Persephone.
So there's like a gauge that like pops up, right? Yeah, but you can't use it on this, so like you can't even demo it. The one that I've been thinking about doing, it's Aspect of Medea, right? Your attacks stay within reach and explode in a large area of impact or after 3 seconds. So the idea with this one, right, is that you don't have the shells just stay with you, right? And then they explode. So yeah, this looks pretty useless, but you can actually trigger the detonation if you use the dash. So you can go. Yeah. Also, right, in order to modify your runs, you have keepsakes. This is the last thing that I gotta touch upon. Well, one of the last things I want to touch upon. So the keepsakes themselves, it lets you like get certain privileges, right? Like after using magic, you restore over 3 seconds, up to 1,000 magic this night, right? So there's like a keepsake. You have stuff like the next guardian loses 15% health, right? And then you take 15% less damage. So guardians are like the bosses. Or like this one's really good, like Luckier Tooth. After you fall to 0 HP, automatically store 101 HP once this night. So there's like a free life, right? You have stuff like gives you more money, or like increases your crit damage, right? But then you have stuff like if for each god that you can get like a power up, right? So you have Zeus, Hera, Poseidon, Demeter, Apollo, Aphrodite, Hephaestus, Hestia, and this is and the rest I'm not gonna like spoil, right? But these are some of them. And then you get like a bunch of others. So these will help you like design how you want to go. So you kind of have to like look a lot into the information. Actually, speaking of information, you have this like lovely base list or compendium where you can actually look at like everyone, right? And if I'm looking at like all the Olympians, right, you can go to offerings. So these are all the power-ups that they give you. So there's a lot to dig through, and this is early access. So these are not, some of them are not balanced, right? So like they can be classified as like attacks, modifies the attack, modifies the special, modifies the cast, modifies your your sprint, and then there's an excuse me, there's an HP restoring one. And the other ones are subsequent modifiers, or like, oh, there's always a revenge, an infusion, and a revenge one. Everything else is like unique to them. Then there's always a legendary per god, and then it starts with the dual boons, so like 2 gods. If it has a little manuscript like this next to it, it means that I haven't used it yet. But yeah, so like there's a lot of stuff, like, and each god has like different stuff. Right, so there's a bunch of stuff to go through. And some of them don't give you necessarily power-ups, like Artemis and Hermes. They give you more like boosts that you can use. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff to dig through. You wouldn't be able to tell if this game is early access if you didn't know. So, all right, well, that was a quick intro to Hades. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. And I will probably post like 1 or 2 games so you guys get an idea of like, how the game plays and how it behaves compared to like Hades 1. I'll probably do a run of just the Underworld, since that's pretty much finished. For the most part, probably like more, there's just a couple things that it's missing. So that will lead us all the way up to Chronos. So we'll see 4 biomes. All right. Well, I hope you guys check out some of these Hades early run games, and then I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.